So this is your setup now on the left-hand side with your kind of before, say the left-hand grip, not much logo showing. Can't really sort of see the crease there with your left hand there with your thumb and forefinger. It's probably more going up towards your left shoulder. Yeah. That's going to create a lot of potential for the face, as we said, to kind of rotate. And you can see that almost with that club going back there. So it's almost like twisting early there, you see, before that club goes back. So you're not moving the club with your body. You can see your hands are rotating. So your left hand here is not too dissimilar to that, but the club started off square and you've done... Yeah. So almost when you close the club face, it was actually kind of correcting the fault, but unbeknown to yourself why. But rather than close the club face and then open it, just get the club face square and change your grip settings on the club more neutral. But that's the sort of the left hand position. You want to get to see that logo more visible, okay? When that club would obviously start off as it was with that left hand grip, a lot of forearm rotation. Now the club getting very much behind you. You can see here now the club's almost level with your hands. Yeah. At this point we should get that hinge working up, top of the back. So when you come back to the golf ball now, body's now trying to sort of move to get out of the way of the golf ball, sort of pulling the arms left across the golf ball. Again, you try to square the club face up, but because there was no way, I mean, your left hand is kind of hitting the golf ball kind of here. When your hands are over by that left thigh, if they start off back here weak and then they sort of come back here, it's going to open the club face. So you closing it kind of fixed the fault, but you knew it wasn't right, so you probably didn't want to continue doing it. So, but this one here now, as we sort of zoom out a little bit, you can see lead arm and the club more in line. There's a bit more kind of tilt with the shoulders. Your logo is more visible. So now your hand is in a more natural position, but just feels uncomfortable. Yeah. This is effectively your natural arm hang. If you let your left arm hang down by your shoulder, the palm kind of faces in. So when we hold the golf club, we just sort of put it forward. What a lot of people do, they put the club more towards the middle. They go, oh, this feels a bit tight, especially someone who's got big chest and shoulders. So then you go, oh, that'll be easier. Yeah. Then just push the palm underneath. And again, a lot of times people feel they've got more security gripping in the palm because it's a bit more secure, but we want to get in the fingers there. So as you go back here now, there's a lot less twisting with that wrist and the forearms of the golf club. As the club gets back to the top of the backswing here now, we've got to get that lower half, as that race, when you get this through practice. Hips going to win the race. You can see this one here now as your hips go. Hips start moving towards the wall there now. Hands are coming back down now into impact decay. Chest is still staying back. That's just before impact decay. Good strike of the ball now. You can see your hands now nicely in front. And then releasing through the target with a squarer club face based on the shots. You get sort of 3 or 4 with minimal spin. Excuse me. And quite a few in actual fact drawing right to left, which you've never really seen on a regular basis, I'm sure. So now we're getting the ball curving a different direction. Your brain has always seen a golf ball do that. Yeah. So because of that, now you've aimed it to hit it over there. Now the ball is curving that way. You're going to still hit it on that red line to the left, because that's what you're kind of programmed in to do. You've now got to start doing this by moving a different direction. That's where the hip movement's going to come in. And think of trying to go down the line. If I was sort of swing, I want to try and say throw a rugby ball down the line, or hit a tennis ball. I'd be here, I'd be shoulder back here, and I'd be swinging this. I wouldn't go and try and get a high right shoulder and try and pull it. But I think a lot of times with the movements that we've seen in the past with people who curve it off to the right, desperation kicks in. You're going to do something, You'll give it a go. You'll try for sort of 6-7 holes. It's a new club. You want to use it. So you'll keep persevering. And I get to the point where you go, well, I've lost 4 golf balls with it and 4 back in the bag until it learns to behave kind of mentality. And you just keep fighting it left. The problem is then you try so hard hitting the ball left with that then migrates into your irons where it doesn't need to be such an issue because they're shorter with more loft, and then just go straight left. And now you're like going left and right and left and right. It's tough, isn't it? So if we can get that set up better with that grip, it's going to take a little bit getting used to, certainly, okay? You can see that sort of shoulder tilt in there, okay? Getting that right shoulder down and under. It gets a nice angle there with the spine. What I'm looking for when I sort of always talk about this now is kind of like that there, lowercase y, Get yourself in a nice lowercase y there, your lead arm on the club. And this is where kind of keep your left arm straight comes from, because your left arm on the club look a nice straight line there. You're not locking your arm out. And generally blokes who play rugby tend to grip on quite tight. And when things are going wrong in your sport, if you're losing a game, you should be willing to just hit someone harder, innit? Flip momentum when you're back on the side. In golf, if things are going wrong, you try and grip it tighter, it gets worse. And then it gets worse again and again, and then you grip it tighter, and then it gets kind of like implosion and everything goes completely to pot, okay? So you've got to feel looser in that grip position. Got to get that left hand in the fingers there so we can see that glow go on you. I mean, there's this sort of logo here now, we should be able to see fairly clearly, as you can see on here now. And this little pattern you've got there, up to the right shoulder, that's what it's there for. It's not like a fashion design, it's actually designed to sort of give you a vision of where that left hand's going to be on the club. So once you've got that there now, your takeaway is going to be better. I would still practice with Mr. Leprechaun or a rugby ball, feeling as though you're taking the club away with the body, not forearms rotating too much, And then, because when you do that and you start realising, actually, my club's going to come back to the golf ball now, aiming towards target, the need to send it over here will start disappearing, You'll just rewire the feeling of where your golf ball needs to go. That takes quite a bit of trust. You find it even on a sim or a range difficult, but golf course out there, and you've got trouble where the ball could go, consequences, it becomes really difficult. This is where I think homework, where you're sort of doing the movement super slowly, so you got home, you sort of set to the golf ball there now, you swing the top of the backswing, maybe pause for a little bit, and then back down to the golf ball, good impact up the top, back down. Just relearn that, how that club's going to start coming in the golf ball in a much more shallow and more this path, as opposed to one on this bottom left-hand side coming over the top and trying to, again, fight against the slice that you used to have. The last 10 or 15 shots you've had, you slice one. You've had a couple of left to right faders, but that last one at 230 near enough's faded. I mean, the side spin's 350, whereas you were getting like 2,000 with someone before. So you've reduced the side spin in that case by a good 80%. Get that body moving better. Learn that feeling to the point where you can just hit golf balls now without having to think about it too much. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. Good stuff. Right.